So CSIRO does work in a lot of these areas that we've touched on. We've had Penny Taylor, who works for CSIRO Nutrition, the group that wrote the CSIRO Wellbeing Diet. Very interesting conversation, very controversial conversation, I think, with some people in the theatre who really just wanted to talk about, teenagers and bulimia, and that's really not where CSIRO wants, their nutrition work to go. Fascinating. CSIRO does work in Alzheimer's, but not a lot of other work in the medical area. That's really kind of the domain of universities in Australia. It's been very interesting. CSIRO doesn't really give us money to do pilot programs, and that's why having the idea of an artist in residence works for us on a number of levels. It allows us to, it's just wonderful to be able to open up CSIRO and our collections and our knowledge to artists to work with. But also, it enables us to pull together pilot programs that we would never be able to commission outright. The artists are able to leverage the CSIRO name to perhaps access external funds, which Liz has been able to do. We've had a couple of other artists in residence this last year, and they've all been able to do the same thing. We're very open to that idea if there are artists in the audience who are interested in working with CSIRO in residency. But I just want to say thank you very much to Liz. It's been a really interesting journey. I've really enjoyed it. I hope you guys have enjoyed the last 8 days and one more to go. I've got a bit more to say, but I just want to give Liz a little gift. And I'm also gifting Liz this.
It's an old suitcase.
It is an old suitcase. Are there any Doctor Who fans? The Doctor, the most recent Doctor, stumbles across this, old technology that's 1,000,000 years old, and he looks at it and he talks to it like it's alive, and he's like, "Oh, hello, look at you, aren't you gorgeous?" And so this is an old slide projector from the 1950s that I inherited off a CSIRO scientist who's no longer with us. Look at that. Isn't it gorgeous?
See, this is when we get really excited. I could cry. That's so cool.
And I know, so what I've learned for the last year working with Liz, we're like as bad as each other and we feed each other with our own craziness or excitement about things, but I know that she will be excited about this, but also I know that she will use it in some way.
Yeah, that's important. And I did actually give Chris something that included some vinegar, but then I had to explain that it had to do with the strawberries, otherwise that was just not a good look. Oh my God, and I've been admiring this in his office.
So, I learned a lot this last week. I've got a bunch of things, I just made some notes of things that I thought were really geeky or cool or exciting. Look at this, so this is Liz's geeky, cool, exciting thing.
This is a plastic tree, and it came by road train that CSIRO paid for. This is what do they call black cockatoos are going to be living in the future. Anyway, a plastic tree. We get really excited.
Look, what I loved this last week is, I work with scientists. We're all proud geeks. And we embrace it. It's nice to see that geeks aren't contained to the science world. It's wonderful to see arts geeks completely and unashamedly in love with what they do and what they're really passionate about. I just don't think there's anything sexier. Harold Klein, this time last week, was doing, and Liz did a show on Schlieren, the heat patterns that escape the body. And God, he is the biggest geek in the world. But he's just you're just drawn to him because he just loves what he does so much and he's so passionate. While I'm talking, I'm just going to play this in the background without the sound. This is a film clip from Björk's latest album. Why is it not full screen? Anyway, you can still get the point. And this is an animation done by Melbourne animator Drew Berry, who works for the Walter and Eliza Hall Institute in Melbourne. And he just got, so he does these wonderful animations as, you know, science communication. And he just got this call about 2 years ago out of the blue. Hi, I'm Björk. I don't know if you've heard of me, I'm a musician. I really love your work, and I really, I'm doing a new album, and I want it to be about the inside, like a journey inside the human body. So they collaborated together for about 18 months. Beautiful song, but this is increased microscopic look inside the body. And once you get to, so I'd already seen this, and then Jack Riley on our opening night did this dance about DNA that Liz choreographed. And I'm sitting there, I'm getting so excited because, I mean, it was a lovely dance, but wait till we get to the bit where the DNA is tearing itself apart and replicating. And I could just see what Jack was doing was exactly this. So, wonderful.
It was a piece of music.
It was a piece of music composed by Topology, a Brisbane-based band called X174, which was the first DNA genome sequenced in 1977. I don't actually know what that means, but I thought that was fantastic. And the thing is, from what we understand, X174 is a virus. So it was just the notion of a single body with having a virus entering into it, or if you have these beautiful DNA strands, what would happen if a virus kind of broke it apart. So yeah, that was a very fun thing to do.
I think that I'm a visual artist and I dance. I really think that accessibility of information and forums is so important. Having the experiences that I do gives me access to a few different modes of language and terminology of certain things, and by no means am I a scientist, but I do like to read obviously, but without this sort of engagement you can't really start to, I think, engage, the ladies left, engage in some of those discourses that are more difficult, particularly when you're going from different language sets, different technologies, different disciplines, and let alone cross-cultural things as well as embodied material where we're talking about sensory information. It's so important to be able to discuss it and to hear other people talking about it. So I find it really enriching, and I've just started a PhD in visual art, and it's about bringing embodied process onto a canvas and what that's going to look like from a more of a choreographic kind of mind. So it's not like an action thing where you just see what happens when you throw paint against a surface. And that's going to be a really challenging thing to do, and I've come up against this problem, I suppose, about how do you actually start to speak in sensory ways, and also how do you speak of that in verbal ways.